Hey guys, how are you? Springs Nostalgia here. What I would like to do with you today is to review this 12-volt Lego Locomotive. That is actually not an official set, but it is a build suggested in this idea book number 7777 from 1918. And the locomotive I'm talking about is this one that you see here in this picture. This is the third of a series of 3 locomotives that were suggested in this book. I already posted videos, 2 videos regarding the other 2 builds. So today we're gonna look at this one, which is the last one of the 3 of them. This locomotive is not my favorite, but is the second favorite one of mine of the 3 of them. What I like a lot is the interesting use of these transparent pieces as windshields, and the color scheme that I find interesting because it's I like the combination of red on top and blue on the bottom. I've been lucky to be able to build this mock accurately as presented in the book, because it requires both pieces from the 7715 Lego train, and also requires the weights from the 7760, which is a pretty expensive train. So fortunately in my collection I have both those sets in my collection, so I managed to be able to put this whole thing together. I really do like it a lot, so let's I like a lot the look, the very beefy and raw look that it has, and I like that too, as this is supposed to be a powerful freight engine. So I think it looks good for its purpose. So let's have a look at it a bit more in detail, starting from the bottom and moving to the back. Okay, very first thing you notice is that this locomotive is actually symmetrical. So what I will point out on the first half of the locomotive, it will be mirrored on the second half. What we're gonna start looking at is the front of the locomotive. It looks good. I like it. It looks very raw and beefy and powerful. I really like this design. There are these couple of shutters on the front that don't really reveal much except some wiring, and this yellow thing here is, sorry, this white thing is the light brick that will light up these bricks over here once the engine is running. Then we move here to the side. There's not much to see. As I already said, what I like a lot is this blue stripe over here. It's a very good combination of color. And what I would show you next, being the locomotive symmetrical, I will just move straight away to the interior. So what I will do is to remove this roof. It can be easily removed through the use of these tiles over here, and these will reveal the interiors of the build. And what you can see over here, there are 2 different cabin sections for depending on which way you're running the train, and in the middle there will be the big motor engine that is only made of bricks, obviously, anyway. So what I'm doing now is I'm just gonna take these apart so you have a better look of it, and there we go. So the engine is pretty interesting. It's very 80s look with some old grey parts, very common parts that with a bit of imaginations are gonna with a bit of imagination are gonna help you to pretend that this is a real looking engine. There is a very interesting feature that is present in this build, and that is shown here in the build, sorry, in the book. And if you just give me 1 second, I'm gonna show you, which is this one. As you can see here in this page, there is the use of a light brick used to power up the console that is supposed to be facing the minifig. And what I'm gonna do now then is to attach the wiring, and I'm gonna show you what that's all about. Okay, so just give me 1 second. Okay guys, so here I am. I just attached the 12-volt transformer to the motor over here. The build is still in pieces because I needed to have access to show you what I was talking about. And what I'm going to do now is to power up the system with the transformer, and you just pay attention. Remember, behind this there is a 12-volt light brick. Okay, so once I power up the whole thing, you can see that the console is light up, and I think I'm gonna stop now so you can hear me. And I find this a very interesting feature of the build, and that is not very practical for the build, because you wouldn't be able to see the whole thing light up once the build is complete. But I think it's very interesting feature that can give you very interesting ideas for other builds. Like for example, if you're building houses and stuff like that, you want to create a whole lightning system, something like that. I think this could be a concept to have in mind in order to get a bit of a few basic concepts down and get eventually the whole thing to work. Okay, so let me put this thing up, and let me put this thing back in place, and then we can go to move to some final considerations. Okay, so this is the build. I love it. It's a very good one. Tell me guys what you think about it. It's not going to be a permanent build of mine, but it's a very inspiring one, and I think this was a very well made book suggestion. So feel free to rate, comment and subscribe guys. Tell me what you think about it, and as I already said, keep an eye on the link. Have a look at the links on the description below, because there are going to be the links that are going to direct you to the other two videos of the other two locomotives that were present, that were suggested in the book. And stay tuned, because I'm building a layout where I want all these three trains to run all together at the same time before I take the whole thing apart and start working to get the pieces to start working in a completely different project. Okay, so thank you very much guys, and I'll see you later.